I also had to double check and look up wedding photos right now to make sure. I was like, my wife wore a veil? She didn't. I didn't think she did, but I was like, I don't have a photo on my phone.
You did, though.
We thought it was an hard decision at first, but ultimately, I like the unconventional nature of it. Welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, a show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, and forgetting anything we might know about the future run of that show, rate it and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about The Building. The Building went 5 episodes with only 1 season on CBS. Here we're talking about episode 1, which was called Pilot, originally airing August 20th, 1993. To get things started, I'm Jay Gags. With me as always, the boys, most of them, Gordo, Ferg, and Joe. What's going on, guys?
A young Ernie Borgnine.
Hey. Not much. What's going on, Jay?
Not much. Hey, so The Building. Right off the bat, Joe, you picked this one. Why did you do that?
Thanks.
I ended up going down a rabbit hole of side characters for Roseanne and just different things that people were a part of. And then that led me to George Clooney. Somebody had written a thing where it's like different sitcoms George Clooney had been on. And I was like, well, Bonnie Hunt, George Clooney. And then when I saw the rest of the cast that was in it, and then the premise, I was like, okay, that makes sense, right? You're in a building. There's different characters, people who live there every day. This will probably be pretty funny.
You already made us watch Baby Talk.
Oh, man. This is so much better than Baby Talk.
No, it isn't.
I don't know if that's true.
Look, I'm not going to spoil anything and say that I'm a humongous fan of this show, but I think it's better than Baby Talk.
It's funny. And I'll say this, Bonnie Hunt's a great actress and she's very funny. And she's had 3 sitcoms based around her, and I can't tell you anything about any of them. They've all gone to shit.
It's weird too because they were all within a year of each other too. They just kept giving her swings. She's so talented, fuck it, give her another shot. And none of them worked.
It's got to be something. Yeah, what are we doing wrong?
I thought that she was Helen Hunt because somebody at work was asking me about this show, and
you're like, oh, the girl from Twister.
I was like, oh, from what's that show? Mad About You. And he goes, no, that's not Bonnie Hunt. So,
to be fair, I'm honestly just more surprised that you know who Helen Hunt is. I'm not surprised that you don't know who Bonnie Hunt is.
Even after doing Mad About You, yeah.
Yeah.
It's because I took him on the ride Twister at Universal Studios.
R.I.P. And R.I.P. Bill Paxton. So, a couple quick numbers. 7.0 on IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have anything. 7.0 seemed a little high, but I don't think there was a lot of votes there. Yeah.
I would again though like to send a quick caveat out there, Jay. I'm sure you'll touch on this, but there is no good quality version of this show you can watch, and I think that makes it probably nowadays a harder review versus people who watched it in real life.
Even older sitcoms that are on streamers, some of them just aren't mastered for upgraded television, so it's tough. Shows like this that the only reason anyone in the world can watch The Building now is because you can find it on YouTube. And again, if you want to watch along, go on YouTube. There's a video that has all 5 episodes as one long video, and you can watch that on YouTube. But yeah, that's just someone who recorded it on their VCR years ago and then found it and uploaded it. And so many of the shows we do today are because that's the only place they exist, an old VHS converted onto YouTube copy. And yeah, it's kind of wild that more stuff doesn't exist digitized somewhere all these years later, but still no.
We talk about it all the time too with a show with some famous people in it and who have pretty famous guest stars every episode. That how much work would it take to just take the actual film of this, remaster it to be 4K or whatever, and throw it on whatever streamer owns this and be like, hey, look, it's a George Clooney and Bonnie Hunt show from the 90s. It's fun. 5 episodes or 6. They play the whole thing. I'm sure they have all of them. It just seems wild to me when there's famous people in a show, especially, that they wouldn't be somebody will seek this out. Some podcast like us would talk about it. That people.
There's got to be a podcast somewhere that only talks about pilot episodes.
I bet. I'm not sure, but I'm sure there's Clooney Cast, right? Or something like that would talk about it that gets enough people talking. Or somebody would write about it and he'd do a blurb in some interview and people would go to it and watch it, right? It would drive people there eventually.
You know what's funny? A lot of times if I'm with family or someone else and we're going to watch a show and you start it from the beginning, all the streamers just naturally, because S1E1, for those of you who haven't picked up on it yet, season 1, episode 1, people will see and go, hey Jay, it says S1E1. It's yeah, that was the point.
Also, too, did you? I don't know if we touched on this, but in the last episode, but we need Apple reviews so that we can be considered critics for Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's something that Gordo really wants for us. So if anyone wants to
something
go,
I really want for
Ferg does
us.
too. Ferg does just because he wants other places to argue with people on the internet. So, but
100%.
if anyone wants, please rate, review, subscribe wherever you listen. But Apple too. It's funny because Apple's not as popular for podcasts as like Spotify and stuff these days, but those numbers still mean a lot in rankings. So yeah, S1E1pod.com is where you can find all the links where you can listen to us. So if you could rate, review, subscribe, and then of course hit us up, let us know shows you want us to cover. We appreciate stuff like that.
It's kind of funny thinking though, like Letterboxd is a pretty popular app for movie reviews for people to like log the movies they watch and make lists and all this different stuff. And right, you'll see people like talking about it, especially like when movies come out. I'm surprised there's not a TV version of Letterboxd where you could like, you binge a show, you could write your reviews on it or anything. Maybe I imagine maybe there is one, I just don't know about it. But
so not much info about this show because it had such a short run. So I think we should just jump right into it. Starts with the intro. And the intro is it's got this like kind of big band.
it's jazzy.
Like, and like with lyrics that were, it's like, basically it looks like they just gave the cast a camera and said, go hang out at Wrigleyville for a couple hours and get footage of each other. And the whole thing's basically like, we're in Chicago and we live in a building together. And
You know what I think it's just like? It's just like Perfect Strangers. Don't you agree?
How fucking dare you, Ferg? How fucking dare you? It is the same premise as Perfect
It's
Strangers.
not like that at
they
all.
even go to Wrigley Field.
That doesn't mean, it just means they're also in Chicago.
Yeah, for the record, that's not my opinion. Joe said that, and he's stupid.
I am stupid, but if there's another show about if in Boston Public somebody walked down the stairs to Cheers and somebody said Greg as they walked in, it would be hard to say that was not similar to the opening.
Yeah,
of
but there was
Cheers.
no shot of like Big Tony and Meatballs, like, talking to his family and a goat before he moved on to Chicago.
There literally is him talking to goats getting in the back of a goat cart.
There's also not an iconic theme song either.
No, this theme song's not good.
It sounds like a Zatarans commercial.
It
It is a
does.
little New Orleans-y jazz when they could have leaned into Chicago blues, probably.
Yeah.
And there might be something with the history there I don't get, but yeah, it did seem a little off. This whole show has a weird, like, 1 foot into like a more classic era than when it came out. Like, it's early 90s here, but like sitcoms have taken shape a little different and we have like a more realistic look towards things. And Roseanne is already like a juggernaut show at this point. And then we have this show where feels old worldy the whole time.
It's very Lucy and Ethel.
Yeah, so I don't really
dare
understand the
you.
vibe they're going for. And it feels half improvised and it takes on a lot of serious tones despite being very slapsticky. We'll talk about it, but yeah, it was very difficult to try to understand what exactly we were watching.
It almost doesn't feel like your standard sitcom half the time. Like, it feels more like a comedy, drama, love story movie that has funny, zany moments, but then has like weird heart stuff to it. And more so than a sitcom.
Where'd you get that? I just saw steaming garbage.
It was
did
in
you-
there.
Look, we'll get there, but I think that there's nothing funny about once George Clooney enters the bar scene. That is like a legit drama
It's
scene.
way later, but yeah, it's just
Yeah.
straight drama. So in the first scene, we have Bonnie, who plays Bonnie, and she walks into her apartment holding a box. And this is like, we're still getting like, she's moving in. She's moving into this building where, from what I gather later in the episode, she once lived in this building, is returning to it later on now that her like relationship has gone awry. So she's coming in, her friend Holly's there, like standing inside, and Holly's just like perked up with like her chest out looking into the mirror. And Bonnie's like, gravity different over there. Like, I don't know if this was to show us that she's going to be like the sex pot character or what exactly was going on. It's just a really weird first line to a show is just this girl looking at her tits and Bonnie commenting on it.
It kind of feels like the relationship in Look Who's Talking with Kirstie Alley and her friend, where she's like the one who's like complaining, oh, I have these dates I'm going on, and she's like, you're being crazy. And that's like right around the same time as this, so maybe they were going for that sort of dynamic. 'Cause that movie was humongous, and that was like right at this time.
And Kirstie Alley was hot.
Bonnie Hunt's hot.
Kirstie Alley?
Really? What?
Look who's talking. She wasn't bad.
I think Kirstie Alley is objectively an attractive woman.
I'm talking about the friend in this, whatever her name
Holly.
is.
Oh, okay.
Holly.
Holly's all right.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think either of them are unattractive.
I honestly couldn't tell you because of our version. I honest to God.
I mean, to be fair, like, you know what Bonnie Hunt looks like because she's been around forever.
Yeah, but I don't know who this friend is.
I was gonna say, but the friend, you can't put the piece to it like you could for Bonnie Hunt. Because
Yeah, your brain is like digitally rendering, putting Bonnie Hunt's face in as you're watching it.
This is just a weird, like, fuzzy person.
I know we mentioned it earlier, but our version looks like it was printed on like a fruit roll up, and it's so bad. I don't even know what her face looks like.
It's like Vaseline, but smeared too much or something. Yeah.
If anything was an appropriate follow-up to the weird girl just looking at her chest to open the show, it's then when she walks into the middle of the floor with Barney and they just go, dance break? And they just do this weird little... And again, the dance is like of the times of like, it looked like they were doing like a little 50s type of
like a Charleston
girl dance. Yeah.
I was going to say a kid and play dance.
I wish. If they did the kid and play dance, instant green light.
If only they had a hammer pants on.
Hammer man.
Hammer man.
And at this point, like, this dance break makes me think like, oh, is this show like satirical, or is it somewhat different? Like, is it not a typical sitcom? Is there going to be weird quirks throughout the show? But no, it's just this weird thing they do, and there's no explanation. There's no follow-ups that kind of like coincide with things like that. It's just this weird thing they do at the very beginning of the episode.
I think that we mentioned it briefly earlier. I actually think that this is improv, some of it. Because there is no way in hell I want to think that some writer in a room said, dance break, gold.
I think you could be right here.
No, I think 90% of the show is improv. I think their dialogue that they have through most of the show, the two of them, I think most of that's improv.
I think so.
I would assume somebody wrote this dance thing because it took them both knowing the same move.
I mean, this is like a second city Chicago thing too, right? Like famous improv funny people. And Don Lake, who comes in a minute, he's like famously in every Christopher Guest movie, which are all improv, right? So it's got to be just a very, I would imagine, like Curb or something, where there's like a really loose outline,
premise,
and they're just like, just fucking go and we'll put it together. And that works sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. You know,
they do the dance break, and now Holly starts going through like a box of Bonnie's stuff, like, so it's some old books, and basically it's like, what do we toss and what do we keep? And there's a couple books. He's like, you can lose them. And then she picks up a picture of Bonnie and Jim being her ex-fiance. And she's like, ooh, I'd like to keep that. Holly's like, no, absolutely not, and goes to throw it away. And she like snags it from her.
There's nothing wrong with keeping the picture. It's an old memory, whatever. It's weird that she wants to hang up the picture of her with her ex.
Agreed.
at the bottom of a trunk or something. Yeah, like, you know
that
it's there, but
fact.
Ex relationships are really tricky in that regards. Like certain things, like I can see like pictures of you guys on vacations. You don't want to forget that you went on these trips.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a weird line because it's like, at what point do you look like you're not moving on? But it's tough because like, and especially in '93, we get everything's digitized for us. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. Like you don't even look back at most of the pictures you have. You throw out a picture, it's gone. You know what I mean? Like you're not getting, you can't recover it. It doesn't exist anywhere else. It's not hiding in your Google Drive somewhere. It's gone.
I was going to say, on the note of digitizing, nowadays you can like literally crop people out. So like if you have like a cool photo of you in like the Bahamas, you can just like put in an alligator that you're holding. Like,
it's a very George Costanza move that you could do now, where you could just crop out every photo of your ex and be like, I had a lot of fun in Bermuda.
I do a ton of editing, like like I do like, our type of stuff, but then like I've just become so fascinated with like Photoshop's capabilities and like a couple of the apps on my phone, and like how AI can like digitally, it's not just like AI art, but it's, when AI figures out like when you want to delete someone out of a picture, how to like finish the background and stuff. It's so wild how they can match the tone and the grain depending on how old the photo is, and recreate something that looks so real and as if nothing's ever there. It's absolutely, we're in such an early phase of that now, and it already looks so good. So it's wild to think of what the next few years will bring.
And now there's phones coming out where like that's a feature they're advertising. They're like, you just click on the thing you don't want anymore and it just vanishes. And you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, this is getting too easy to just erase history. I don't like that at all. It makes me very uncomfortable.
I think what becomes an issue down the line is it's an interesting line, right? Because all right, you have a nice picture, you and the family go out, you have a nice picture of you at the park, and behind you guys is some homeless dude sneezing, you know what I mean? And you could just like click him and he's gone. But then people start going, well, you know, like I'm looking a little tubbier here and I can shave this down and I can do this. And like, you know, we all have our insecurities. And I think now that it's becoming so easy to like digitally fix the things about yourself, oh, that bald spot, let me just scribble with my stylus real quick and it's going to fill it in perfectly. Like it's interesting, but I guess it's a dangerous, slippery road.
My favorite example is when we met Mr. Feeney and you changed the picture so he was smiling.
I don't know if I've ever publicly admitted to that, but we posted, he's 90 something. He's so old. And like, we took the picture with him. We're like, he wasn't mean at all. He was still friendly, but he was like a 97-year-old man taking a photo. You know what I mean? Like with a line of people. So I just like click and it just made him smile and it looked real and it just made the whole photo a million times better.
We made this man's day.
I think in cases like that, it's fine. Where I get weird, like you said, is if you start like airbrushing yourself, making yourself look different,
Right.
just because it's such a slippery slope. And we'd all love that. I would love if every picture of me, I looked better and, you know, less gray hair and thinner. Like everybody has that, but it's weird. I think the upside we have now is that like, because all that content's disposable, like if someone tags you in a picture you don't like, you're just like, I don't have to repost that. You know what I mean? Like that'll live for 24 hours in somebody's feed and you'll hate it, but you don't have to do it. You have to save pictures. You have to post anything you don't want to. Some people post everything though, and it's weird.
If I do anything like that, I make sure I keep the original too. That's all.
So now they're going through more boxes and Holly opens up the one that happens to have Bonnie's wedding veil. She's like, oh, I've never seen your veil before. It's beautiful. She's like, oh, geez, Holly, you know, you shouldn't have that on. Why not? Well, it's white, and that could be a problem. I think kind of a dig at Holly's extracurriculars, saying that maybe she's not pure enough to be wearing such a thing.
That's like a super gone thing, unless you're crazy religious, right? Like that's
nowadays. Yeah, I don't know how many people are walking into wedding days. It still happens, and you know, credit to those who do. I'm not here to judge other people's lifestyles, but
live your life the way you want to.
The percentage is way down.
I think if it's your first marriage, people still wear white.
No, but the idea of the purity that it stands for, like, is that still being practiced?
Yeah, like you can still wear white.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I also had to double check and look up wedding photos right now to make sure. I was like, my wife wore a veil? She didn't. I didn't think she did, but I was like, I don't have a photo on my phone.
You did, though.
We thought it was an odd decision at first, but ultimately, I like the unconventional nature of it.
By the end of that night, when I was so drunk that I was walking around with no pants on, putting a veil on me probably would have been not a far stretch.
The phone rings and Bonnie walks over and like she does like the pick it up, hang it up. And it's the, hey, you know, you got to talk to him sooner or later. Like, well, that's where you're wrong. In Philadelphia story, Captain Hepburn hung up on Cary Grant 16 times, you know. You know what happened at the end? What? They got married. We're under the impression that this is Jim calling. At least she thinks it's Jim calling. So she's hanging up because she doesn't want to talk to him. But in this response is saying, I do want to be with Jim still.
I also find this rude because it's not her house. She's moving in with her brother, right?
No, I didn't.
I think she gets her own apartment, but her brother lives in the building.
Because when the answer machine goes on, the message isn't her message. The message is her brother's, who says like,
that's true.
That's Mike Haggerty, yeah.
Yeah, cousin? I thought it was cousin.
I think it's cousin.
Yeah, I think it's cousin.
But still, yeah. And again, to clarify, the way I understood it was that she once lived in the building, moved out when she was with Jim, and then now is returning to this place. I don't know how much longer. I think they do a really poor job of explaining any of it, like, because it's only a couple quick lines that would even let you know that she has ties to this place in the past.
The other thing, too, I think we're also glossing over, and it's not worth harping on, the way that these guys are talking back and forth.
It feels like they're on stage at an improv show and somebody said, give me a dialect. And they were like, old-timey movie. And they were like, okay, in this scene, we're an old-timey movie. Ba 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 ba.
Well, there seems to be like an ongoing runner throughout this episode where Bonnie and Holly talk like they argue at all times, but they're talking at the same time end an argument, and then it's just kind of like someone says something at the end to clarify the whole thing or to like put an end to it. So there's a lot of talk over between those two that's going on constantly. And it's like a funny bit, but they go to it a lot.
It's like a really bad version of Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to our Letterkenny episode.
I do love me some Letterkenny. But nobody says butthole in this episode, unfortunately.
So now they find a framed photo of her prom. So now it's like, oh, I found your prom photo. And Bonnie immediately goes to hang that one up on the wall, which that's even, I don't know. I think that's almost weirder than hanging up a picture with your last ex.
That is weird.
Yeah.
I found a prom photo when I moved, but it's in like the bottom of a trunk. And I was like, I'm not going to throw this away because that feels weird. But like, you don't hang that up. That's fucking weirder, you know?
Yeah, like I have a copy of it in my house.
Yeah.
It's not in a frame. And if it is, it's not on display anywhere.
I only copies up in at my mother's house. Like she has it on her wall. She has one from all three of her kids.
Right.
And that's acceptable.
Yeah, parents, different scenario. Although I imagine that also getting awkward ever if other things change in your life too. You know what I mean? It's like a weird thing.
So she goes to hang this photo up on the wall, and as she's like kind of hitting the hammer, you hear that same sound coming back from the other side of the wall. It's like, what the heck is that? And Holly's like, oh, that's Big Tony. It's like, oh, I thought you were kidding about that. No, he gets revenge on every sound he hears.
What does that mean? I'm usually like, I try to incorporate and be like, I can see where you're going. He gets revenge on every sound he hears?
To what
That's
degree?
got to be
now,
an improv line.
So now this is actually the close of the episode is a callback to that sentence.
Right.
And that's a different sound we hear, and we'll get into that later to not spoil. Not that it's anything exciting, trust me. But like, if she's having sex, is he recreating that sound? If she's in the shower, is he just going shh? Like what is the degree? Is he mimicking the television like from the other side? Is he doing sports calls? Like how many sounds is he returning back?
Again, difference now versus then. This is a person with a very severe, undiagnosed mental illness.
Yes.
And as somebody whose doctor literally yesterday told him, you know, I know your therapist said you don't have to see her anymore, but like, you could call her, which was a great moment. I was like, holy shit. You know, maybe he should talk to somebody.
I just like to think it's Michael Winslow on the other side practicing.
Well, we do have one cast member from Police Academy here, so we could always use a second.
Holly starts giving her a breakdown of like all the people that live in the building. She's saying, oh, Brad lost a job at the paper. Big Tony, he's married with 2 kids. Brad's got a new roommate, Stan. He's an actor. Oh, and there's a washer dryer in the laundry room. Buck a load. And then you do buck a load, buck a load, buck a load. And it's like, what is this? We've gone back. Now we're in the 30s. What are these jokes?
I don't know, but I do want a t-shirt that's all 5 of us as chickens. And the little word says, buck a load, buck a load. Because when I saw it, I was saying it as a chicken for like half an hour.
It's better than the other load that's on it.
Yeah, load of laundry. I get it.
Good laundry joke, Gordo.
Ancient Gordo secret, huh?
So Bonnie puts the veil on and she starts looking in the mirror at herself. And Holly's like, Bon, yeah, I'm really sorry about your wedding being called off. Now I'll meet somebody else. And they're going back and forth. And now the 2 girls start talking about this girl, Nancy, that they both know, who apparently recently got divorced. And they're talking about her veil. And do you know what Nancy did with her veil? And then eventually we find out that she turned it into a planter.
Oh, cool.
Can you do that? How does that work?
It's a hoop. Why not?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense now.
Really? I only thought about the fabric. I didn't think about the part that goes around your
It makes
head.
sense now, but yeah, in that moment, like, how do you make a planter out of it? So I guess you hung string from it and put the pot inside.
Yeah, I'm sure you tied up the bottom, make it like a bowl.
And then while they're talking about Nancy, Holly says to Bonnie, like, oh yeah, I saw her recently. Like, oh, you did? You didn't bring me up when you were talking to her, did you? No. Are you sure? No. You know, I really don't want anyone to know anything about like what's going on with me and Jim right now. No, I didn't say anything to her. And then she's telling us, I'm even leaving my ring on because she doesn't want to have to explain anything.
Psycho.
And then she's asking again.
That's also, I would just ask, I will say, Gordo, you and I both are married and have wedding rings. I don't know about you, but like a week after being married, you never notice the ring unless you hit it off something or whatever. And I never look at somebody's hand to see if they have a ring on, male or female. Like, is that a thing people track? You're like, oh, nice to meet you. Do you go like,
If you're looking for that stuff, I guess.
but are you? Like, who's looking for that? It seems weird to me to be like, oh, I met this person and I checked and it looks like they're married. That's a weird thing.
Well, that ring would have been an engagement ring, not a wedding ring, correct?
Right. Yeah. Because they can get married. So,
Yeah, but say she goes home. You know how women are. Let me see the ring, girl. Come on. And she doesn't have it on. What does she say?
So, but how long do you keep that up? Like your engagement fell through? And I get it's awkward and you don't want to have to talk about it over and over. I do understand that. But how long can you ride that out for where you're wearing a wedding ring that's like for a dead engagement?
No idea.
In her head, they're gonna get back together. This isn't the end. This is the stepping.
That's true too.
Yeah.
She hasn't accepted the idea that they are like for real split up. I was gonna say like, say what you will about social media, but nowadays, how much easier to rip the Band-Aid off with that, huh? You just change your status to single and you just write like a status like, don't want to talk about it. Like, that's it. Like, no one would ask you shit.
only your like
It's
close friends are going to
complicated.
talk to you about it. Oh, it's complicated. Is that the other one? Yeah. Which I feel like makes people want to ask you more, right?
That's
Yes.
exactly what it does.
You have to age out of it's complicated. If you're a full-on adult and you're making that and listen, I'm sorry, again, if anyone listening, it's currently listed as it's complicated on your social media, but
I'm not positive it's still a thing.
I've never had Facebook, so I don't know, but
when it's complicated, hide just hide the status. Don't
I
make
would
that.
say I'm going to look, but I know I'd be stupid enough to hit it.
We just see you die in lifetime.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
things I would suggest on social media anyway, just to somebody who thinks about privacy of these things for your life. You shouldn't put like your exact city and state. You shouldn't put your relationship status. You shouldn't put the link to like married to this person. Then you shouldn't be tagging where you are in real time. Those are just real things like to throw out there right now. That would not be an issue for anybody if they didn't do them.
Hey, you say that and then you don't do that, and your significant other thinks something's up.
yeah, that's also true.
Are you embarrassed of me?
You don't even say we live in the same state on your Instagram.
Bonnie's going on a little bit more with Holly and still pressing her like, are you sure you didn't tell anybody about my situation? She's like, no. And then it kind of comes up how Bonnie is famous. And by famous, we find out that she's like a commercial actress. And we don't even know. I've been trying to gauge, is this a local commercial or
I think it's
like
national.
National. I felt like it was like a local thing.
In my mind, she's Flo from Progressive. Like in a national campaign that's big enough that everybody knows who that person is.
Like the AT&T girl.
Or the AT&T girl, yeah.
Yeah, I was almost the opposite. I was thinking like more like a regional, super popular regional commercial.
I tend to lean more where Jay is. It's a regional thing. It's not national. It's not just where she is, but that
But
area.
she moved to New York, though, so like it would have to be New York and Chicago.
Oh, that is true. She did move
Yeah.
away. So maybe that is it.
That's why I think it's because she was living in New
that's,
York.
That's a fair point.
Good writing would explain it, but
We just know her as the carpet girl.
unless she moved away to, maybe that was her start. She did a local commercial there and then moved away to pursue acting in New York for some reason.
Well, I mean, New York is like, Broadway and movies and stuff too. Also, if you live in New York and you're a working actor, you can make your living just being on like whatever cop show. Like there's like 30 SVUs, 30 CSIs, like all that stuff shoots in New York, so you can just like work and be on all
Not
that
in
stuff.
1993.
We saw Law and Order in 93.
You
we
can
still
only
had,
be in cops.
well, we had Law and Order in 93, and we had like Homicide and a few other ones, right?
Cops is Florida.
No, Cops is everywhere, and I will throw shade on Florida when I want to. The best episodes are Florida. I want to say the Feral Zebra certainly is Florida, but some of my favorite Cops episodes are Massachusetts.
Phone rings again, and Holly's about to pick it up. And Bonnie's like, no, don't answer it. And they get into a little back and forth about it, but it's like, no, leave it. Answering machine picks up, and that's when we hear her cousin.
One of the patron saints of this podcast.
Yes. Mike Haggerty plays Finley. Yeah, Finley, played by Mike Haggerty, who, R.I.P. Mike Haggerty, we have said, I don't know how, but he's been in like maybe 6 or 7 pilots that we've covered so far. And it's not that he's like starring or is like a main role or is even a recurring character in half of them, but he's just in everything and somehow keeps landing in the pilots.
And of course, Wayne's World. Yeah, Somebody Somewhere, which is like the sad thing is I don't know how I feel about it. In Somebody Somewhere, he died while they were making the show, and they just sort of wrote his character off to being like he moved somewhere. And I was like, I don't love that. But then part of me was like, he's such a sweet man. I'm sure they were like, we don't even want to pretend he's dead. We'll just say he's happy somewhere else. And like, you can't get mad at that.
We hear his voice here because it's his apartment that Bonnie's moving into. And it's, hey, thanks for calling. This machine is also taking calls from my cousin Bonnie, who is moving back in due to the fact that her wedding was called off. Please leave a message at the sound of a beep. All Bonnie's fears that word's getting out. Now we know that there's at least one outlet for people to find out, and that would be calling her cousin.
That does solve it. It is the cousin.
Yeah, all these times she's not answering, she's getting told on.
Yeah.
That is kind of fun though, to like be like, I can't answer. That's a fun gag when you think about it. I didn't even think about it that way. That's really smart. We're like, every time she doesn't answer the phone, she doesn't want to tell somebody hilarious like Mike Haggerty is telling them instead. That is such a great moment.
That's when Bonnie starts wondering, like, I wonder if Jim is even the person who's been calling. Like, what if he's not? And that's when she admits, like, because Holly says, like, what difference does it make? You don't want to talk to him anyways. It's like, what are you, nuts? Of course I want to talk to him. I just don't want him to know that I want to talk to him. And there's no way that he'll know that unless he calls me and I don't talk to him. Now she's kind of, a little upset at the thought that maybe he hasn't been trying to reach out to her. And she's a bit lonely, and despite all her arguing with Holly, asks her if she can stick around a little longer because she doesn't like to be alone. Right after that, we hear commentary on the TV that's been behind them, and it's there's a live Cubs game going on. And at this point, we don't know this, but it just so happens that her apartment is like basically touching Wrigley.
It's way too close.
Yeah, it's right in Wrigleyville, heart of Chicago, one of those tall buildings. Like, if any of you guys are familiar with the area from Chicago or have at least been there, like, you would know all around Wrigley are all these buildings, like tall buildings that you can even buy tickets to watch Cubs games on the roofs of these buildings because they surround the park so closely.
You can see so well, yeah.
So Bonnie's apartment building must be one of those. So as she's casually listening to the game as it's on, we hear that someone hits a home run. And you're hearing the commentator going like, oh, and, big hit, going back. And then ball goes straight through her window.
Which I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't realize this until they referenced it later because of how bad the quality of this was.
You hear it break the window. Did you just think Stone Cold was somewhere in the building?
Yeah.
Anyone got a beer?
Yeah,
Yeah, so the ball crashes through. I mean, that's going to be an interesting, like, I love, our Red Sox. And it would be cool to live near that. Well, it depends on.
it would not be cool to live near
It
would
that.
would
not
be
be.
awful.
At one point. But yeah, would I want to live anywhere where even if I was a diehard fan of the team, do I want balls to crash through my window at any given time?
That's a dream come true for you, Jay.
Is this a balls joke?
Yes.
Watching Gordo's cheekbones go up like the Grinch
The Grinch.
while he was trying to not hold it how happy he was that he made a Jay likes balls joke was the only funny part of that entire scenario.
And just the thought of like, even if insurance, like even if the park covers it, like however that's paid for, even if it's paid for every time.
You still have to file it, deal with it, sweep up glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're constantly cleaning glass. Like, I mean, what if it happens? And yeah, like what's the turnaround time? Can they always get there like right away?
Also, the ball could hit you, right? Like if there's like this is 93.
If I'm living there, I'm hanging like a blanket outside the window every
Yeah.
time there's a game going or something like that.
We're right before like steroid ball was real big, right? Where like some of those dudes were hitting those balls so hard, they come through the window and hit you. Then what?
Yeah.
You can't sue Ken Griffey when you're dead.
Ken Griffey wasn't on steroids.
Do you see how big his head got when he had all that tonic? I don't know.
Simpsons joke.
Yeah, didn't he get hurt like playing in the tub with his like kid? Wasn't that like the last injury?
Yeah, he used to always be hurt, and it would be weird ways.
I mean, to be fair though, that's the most realistic thing about being older ever is like, how'd you hurt yourself? Were you playing baseball? I'd be like, nope, stepped off the curb. Like, play with my kid. It's just getting old.
93 is probably right around when stuff's starting to start up, because I would say by 97-ish, I think it's getting real hot. Like that's when like we have like Roger Clemens leaving the Red Sox and the Red Sox thinking he's done, and then he goes to Toronto and all of a sudden is like finds the fountain of youth, which we found out was in a needle.
Which we found out was a 14-year-old country singer.
I love Roger Clemens as a baseball player, but all right. So So anyways, Bonnie gets the ball and she's excited and she like grabs it and she like runs outside of her window and she's like holding it out and cheering for the Cubs. But because of that, a camera catches her. So now you can see like on her own television, you know, like the black and white image of her, like woo woo, like the broadcast of the game, which, you know, I didn't even think about it until now, but like why, like 93, why is he watching like a black and white coverage of the game?
But it's weird because she has the veil on for that part.
Yeah, she forget that important point. Yeah, she forgets she has the veil on still.
But it's really not an important point because there's zero payoff from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't they mention? I think they mentioned that she was. Doesn't the announcer mention she?
Yes.
Would this be Harry Carey at this point?
Harry Carey, yeah.
Was he White Sox or was he?
He was Cubs.
No, he was a Cubs.
Okay.
Yeah, Cubs win. Cubs win.
Yeah, Cubs win.
We do have the announcer, once she's on television, goes, "Oh, looks like the Randolph carpet girl Holly is telling us that her wedding's been called off." I don't know how seeing her in the veil announces that, but
No, she was doing this. She was doing like the call off sign, right?
oh, maybe.
I think she was doing the baseball call off sign. Yeah.
Tough to see. But regardless, now the world knows her wedding's off.
Anybody with a better copy of this, let me know if that was the case or not. Yeah.
If one should exist. I do want to say again, speaking of Harry Carey, if any of you guys ever find yourselves in Chicago and in the Wrigley area, you have to look at the Harry Carey statue because it is the creepiest of all the commemorative statues for anyone in sports. Because it looks like he's just standing over a pile of children's souls. And I'm telling you, look it up. It's fucking hilarious. I'm sure it's for a good cause or something related to children that's innocent. But when we saw it many moons ago, I was like, what the fuck is this statue? This is insane.
The Will Ferrell forever ruined Harry Carey for me.
That's true. Yeah. Hey, Norm, you can't not think of it. Yeah. You think the moon's made of cheese? Would you take a bite out of it? Like, that's the first thing you think
What
of.
if it was made out of ribs? I know I'd eat it.
Instead, we just got Bob Uecker, who would just be himself crazy on things, which is pretty fun.
Bonnie's heading to the sink after that. And as soon as she turns it on, we hear someone like screaming. It's like from another apartment or something. And you hear, "Are you crazy? You just about scalded me." And like next thing we know, this dude in a robe and a baseball hat is inside the apartment.
And this is hilarious comedic actor Don Lake we talked about earlier. Yeah.
So Brad, who also lives there, but it's confusing because their relationship is strange. And that's why my first time watching it, I didn't get a full vibe that she had like history in this place. So I didn't really understand that like she had like a history being in this building. So because of that, the way that he like talks and treats her, which we'll talk about in a second, was extremely confusing to me.
He seems a little like, so for his character, as we find out, he's almost like a helpless, he takes advantage of her, not like in a misanthropic or mean or like.
He doesn't have a wife, so he like treats her as if she's his like.
Yeah, like I don't know how to describe it, but he's not like mean to her. He's not like taking advantage of her. He just is like helpless.
But he's comfortable with her in a way that feels off.
They must know each other through his cousin, right?
He's kind of misogynistic.
He is, yeah, but also I think it's because he's dumb, not because I don't think it's dumb. I think it's dumb, not malice. If that makes
No,
sense.
I think it's a little bit of both.
So Brad's explaining to Bonnie, like, we have like a system, you know? So like, I always take a shower during the 5th or 6th inning when everybody's up on the roof watching the game. So like, you have to like bang if you're going to like use the water. So like, I know ahead of time. And then like Bonnie and Holly do that. Did you know about the signal? I didn't know about the signal. The back and forth thing that they do at all times. And then he's just like, "Can I get a coffee?" And like sits like right down. And the girls start arguing. Holly's like, he can get his own coffee. And Bonnie's very classic TV wife almost, you know, in a way where she's very like, "Let me get this for you," whatever. This is her moving into the apartment, not even fully established yet. And even if they've known each other for a while, like his comfort to just be like, "Hey, get me a coffee," as he sits down in her apartment just seems a little odd.
Well, in all fairness, she just scalded him.
Well, he should have saved that water and made his coffee. Nick, you've joined the show. Welcome, Nick. So now we have all five.
Hey,
how do you feel about Brad in this situation?
I was very confused by his, and I don't know if I missed it or like they know each other, right? Like prior to them moving in.
So we understand that Bonnie at one time lived in this building. How many
Right.
years ago or what, we don't know. So she has some ties to some people in this building, but from what it seems, from the people we've met, it's really only these two. There's like Big Tony, who we see later, and Brad's roommate, like she doesn't know any of them. And so it's been a minute, I think.
I would assume it's maybe a rent control building too, and that's why they're all still there, and how she got in from
definitely.
the cousin. Yeah.
But my initial thought is she better know bathrobe pretty well, because otherwise he's a fucking dick. Like, just shows up half dressed, yelling about water, demanding coffee. It's just a strange.
You have to have a certain comfort level.
Even if they do know him, it's still weird. So I don't know.
That's not how you guys introduce yourself to neighbors?
Not always, sometimes.
I think what would have made this character work more is if he was more like, gee, shucks. And it's like, Bonnie, can I have a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, but when he does things, it's more like there's like like an air of demanding that comes with it. And that's like Holly's point. Like, you don't have to just get him a coffee. When Bonnie's like, but I would have done the same for you. It's like, that's different. Like, I'm a girl. It's like, well, why is that different? And she's telling her that she's stuck in the 50s, which, again, she does come off that way. Like, she's wearing like the apron, like just the way she means well, but it's just, I don't know. It was a very strange dynamic.
I would say, if I were going to, because I like Joe's analogy here, that if he was more gee, shucks, and I'm just going to use a show that everybody knows, The Office, he comes in like Angela, but would be funnier if he was a Kevin.
Totally.
Yeah, if he was goofy and was like, can I have a coffee? You'd be like, okay, sure.
While he's sitting down and the girls are arguing, he finds that veil and he's like playing with it over his face, and the crowd seems to think this is hilarious. And when she turns around and notices, he goes, got a problem with mosquitoes there, Bon?
I did laugh at this.
Yeah,
I don't know. I did actually laugh at this. This also feels very much an improv scene, right? Like, play with what's around you, try to make it work.
Did you laugh at or with?
I never laughed, period.
Me too.
I had a couple.
I know. I don't think I did either, honestly.
There's a couple pieces, a couple of scenes here where I have legitimately written down where I did lol, and his character is one of the ones I did get that at.
He's apologizing because he's like, this is sacred. And when he goes to say like, hey, like Bonnie, and she goes, what's wrong? Do you need money? And I'm like, what the, like, why is this girl like so like worried about this dude? She's just offering him money.
Well, we do find out that he's unemployed right now, and if she does know him and has known him for a long time, maybe it's more like a familial sister or brother.
Because he's the one who
thing.
lost a job in the paper.
And at that point, working at the paper actually made you money. Like, that was like when being a journalist was like a paying career.
And we find out that he doesn't want to talk about it, much like she doesn't want to talk about the engagement. So they both establish that with one another, and then they decide to move on from the conversation. No sooner does that happen, the phone rings again. And now I think Holly is now conditioned from earlier in the day, so she knows to ignore it. The phone's ringing and ringing, and Brad's looking around. He's like, maybe it's me. And then finally Bonnie's like, hey, can you do me a favor, just answer that? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll get the phone. And then as soon as he picks up, turns out it is Jim that's been calling. And you just hear like the one-sided conversation from Brad's perspective. Like, hey, Jim, how you doing? No, it's Brad. How's it going? Oh, how's the Big Apple treating you? And he says like, and how are the Rocketeers? Well, he means the Rockettes. He goes, oh, do you want to talk to Bonnie? And Bonnie's trying to like signal, like, tell him I walked out. And he goes, oh, actually, Jim, it looks like she's looking something up in the yellow pages. I did think this was stupid funny. I didn't think this was like creative funny, but the absurdity of it.
Yeah, him not getting what they're pantomiming, that's actually a rare funny moment.
Because then after that, she's like, no. And she's like trying to like mimic walking. And she's like, get like almost like her shoulders up as she's doing it. He was like, oh, no. I mean, she's actually at a Howdy Doody convention.
Which I feel like now you couldn't have anymore, right? Like, I feel like all the Howdy Doody fans are gone.
They're all literally dead.
Not a lot left of Howdy Doody fans, yeah. If this was ABC and not CBS, do you think we could have gotten an actual Rocketeer cameo?
Wish.
It's like, you're at the Rocketeer convention. Comes in through the broken window.
That's what breaks.
We've talked about him before. Who is the guy with Alzheimer's that DJ let into the house?
Oh.
He's like, come
Right,
on.
when
He's like,
When she works at the old folks home.
I won't
yeah.
let you watch Howdy Doody.
Yeah. I won't let you watch The Rocketeer. I watched him save a clown in a plane once. He blew up a blimp with James Bond on it.
This phone conversation, I believe, again, we've discussed, but this, I think, is more improv right here.
It is interesting that she won't answer the phone and she won't let the friend answer the phone, but she'll let a man answer the phone.
Yeah,
As if he'll jump to the conclusion that she's found somebody else.
that could be it.
Like a jealousy tactic.
Because she absolutely didn't want Holly to talk to her, but yeah, it was more than okay. Went out of her way to ask Brad to pick up.
But it sort of feels also like he knows who Brad is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely like some sort of understanding. And when that phone call is closing out too, it's like, all right, well, oh yeah, by the way, Jim, what's your new girlfriend's name? Oh, Kathy? Yeah, say hi to her too. So like we're learning through this conversation that, you know, Jim has moved on since breaking up with Bonnie.
One might think he moved on before breaking up with Bonnie. The way
I
things pan out.
feel like that's probably the situation. They don't get into it, but it makes sense.
This is definitely like when you find out what you find out at the end of this seems like this was an affair that took a turn and he was doing the like thing people do in that scenario. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like he was clearly cheating on her. This was not I just met somebody and fell in love.
The only thing that makes me think otherwise is the fact that she won't move on, that she's still wearing the ring, wants to keep all the stuff and doesn't want to let go. I feel like if she was cheated on, she wouldn't have. It's a lot easier to move on when you hate the other person's fucking
That's
guts.
true. They really don't explain it.
No.
It just leaves it with a weird tone. And that's the thing. And especially like we'll get into the end when we get to the end, but it definitely leaves you on a bit of a confused note.
Not to denigrate all of us, but like I think that maybe we just don't understand that because none of us look like George Clooney, so we can't imagine a woman being like, "I'll give him a second chance. He loves me," right? Like I feel like there's also a little bit of that, right? Where it's like they mentioned Cary Grant earlier, and you're like, "Well, he's sort of like that era's Cary Grant, right? Like an insanely handsome person that you like don't want to let go of."
I'm more compared to Brad Pitt than Clooney.
More compared to Howdy Doody.
I'm more compared to most Howdy Doody fans.
I'm more compared to just duty.
Oh, you got me.
Yeah, I'm mad that I'm like, that's not bad. I can't be mad at you for that.
I tried to give you the silent treatment and a little laugh got out.
Well, now whenever I see a Gordon, I'm just going to say, howdy, Doody.
Ever since we brought up Howdy Doody, like the cogs have been in motion. Like, when can I say duty later?
Honestly, it has been.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for my spot.
So after Brad hangs up, you know, there's a quick back and forth between him and Bonnie. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, she's like, this means I stepped out. He's like, no, everyone knows that's a universal sign for Yellow Pages.
Was that the let your fingers do the walking, right? That was what the Yellow Pages
Yeah.
was back then, yeah.
For our younger viewers, before the internet, if you needed to look up a number, there was a big book called the Yellow Pages with everybody's number in it.
I need a plumber.
White pages for residential, yellow pages for businesses.
Businesses, yeah.
Now Bonnie's asking Brad, so what was he saying anyways? He's like, oh, he's saying that he's flying in. He's going to be here around 8 o'clock and he wants to talk to you. And he goes, can I get some sugar for this? And she's like, wait, no. What did he really say? No, he said that he's going to be here at 8 o'clock and he wants to talk to you. The way he asked for sugar, if you watch back, he was like annoyed that the coffee she was pouring him before the distraction had no sugar. And this goes back to like the entitlement of this fucking guy who just walked
such a
in.
dick.
It is weird to expect expect coffee, and then expect also like your specific fixins for coffee.
Well, even if she messed up, even if he asked for it ahead of time, like Joe, if I was at your house and you were like coffee, and I said yes, and you didn't make it the way I wanted it, I'll go, oh, by the way, do you have any sugar? I wouldn't be like, where's the sugar? You know, like I wouldn't be like a dick about it.
Yeah, where the fuck is the sugar? Yeah, you'd be like, can I have some sugar, please? Or do you have sugar? Yeah.
So now they're asking her, like, you gonna go see Jim? She's like, well, not like this. I'm gonna have to like wash up a little bit, put some makeup on. And then he's like, he's still gonna recognize you.
That's a funny fucking line.
She, I think, legit laughed at that because I think that was like, he said it off the top of his head. So Bonnie laughs, but I think it's like a shoot laugh when he says it.
Like, there are some genuine laws in this.
And now Brad and Holly start arguing, like she's defending Bonnie. And Bonnie's going, did you guys get married while I was gone? She starts talking about how like this might be a giant mistake to see him now. She was having such a good day.
It's kind of strange that we're this far in and they haven't left the apartment yet. The entire sitcom has been in the apartment.
There were times where I thought it was like where the show's called The Building and the way this stretches. Because this first scene before they cut out of her apartment lasts like about like 8 minutes of the episode or so. So I'm thinking like, oh, interesting concept. They're just gonna stay in this apartment the whole time.
I feel like I like that though, because that's what earlier I said it reminded me a lot of Lucy and Ethel. That feels very also Lucy and Ethel, right? Like you usually see like they occasionally go out to like the weird factory they're working at, but the characters leave the building because it's the 50s and the husbands leave and work and they stay home and the whole show is there. And I think they would be going for that vibe in a way.
Yeah, but there's something about the way the pacing worked for this. It was like a long 8 minutes. And, you know, we talk about clock watching and it's not
it's a
just
long
shit all over the
22
show.
minutes.
Yeah, there are laughs within the show. And like, I'm not going to say this is even like remotely one of the worst shows we've ever seen. But yeah, it's just, I found that it really dragged in a scene like this where the dialogue just, maybe it's because of some of the improv nature of it, but that mixed with the lack of movement really created this like, all right, like, where do we move on? Where are we going from here? And now is actually when we get our first opportunity to like break away from this, because we get a buzzer and we find out that through the intercom that there's a delivery for Bonnie. And she's saying like, okay, can you just leave it down there? I'll pick it up later. And then the person's like, oh no, I can't. I need you to sign for it. Bonnie ends up heading downstairs under the impression that she's like, I'm not going to go back with Jim, but it would be a really nice gesture if it was flowers from him. And it's like, she gets the package and that's like her, I mean, I don't know. And the way she delivered it too is like, there was such like a somberness to it.
Yeah, it was weird. It was just weird.
It feels more like a still relationship where you're like, it'd be really nice if they brought home pizza tonight. Like, we're making this food and you're like, I knew it wouldn't be pizza. Like, it doesn't feel like a like sad thing. It feels like it's Wednesday.
It felt like like her last bit of hope to me. Like the way she's just like, you know, like she's trying to tell herself. She just said she wants to talk to him earlier. And then this idea of, you know, like I'm never going to get back with him, but it sure would be nice if he sent me flowers. We follow her down the steps, and this is when we meet Big Tony for the first time. He's the man who is the receipt knocker. Anytime he hears a sound, gives it back. And his big thing on the show is that he swears a lot and they bleep it out, and that's supposed to be hilarious. And I feel like for the 1993 audience, it was. And for Joe.
For the 2025 audience, I was like, this is stupid. Then we said, get your fucking ass down here. And it bleeped. I laughed audibly. And it was like, I can't believe I like laughed out loud at him saying that. But it weirdly got me. I don't know. It just, I think it was repetition. It wasn't funny at first. It wasn't funny the fourth time. It wasn't funny the fifth time. You're like, this is wearing so thin. This is so stupid. But when a joke goes on and on, that eventually it becomes almost like a caricature of the joke. Like, I laughed at the end where I was like, this is fucking insane. Why am I laughing at this? I don't think it's because it was a good joke. I just think they played it so many times that it becomes so dumb you laugh at it.
So you got Stockholm Syndrome.
Gordo, you got to stick with the poop jokes, and Joel apparently think they're funny eventually.
That's never going to happen.
Hey, Joe, next time I see you, you want to go to Wendy's? Wendy's nuts drag across your face.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think you were going there. Like, that's how much I have to block that out. I didn't even think that's where you were going.
Where else was he going?
I thought he was going to do some sort of thing where I thought it was going to be like, you can't eat the food joke. You'll be sick.
You want to eat my little nuggets?
Let me ask you something. Do you have a CD player?
No.
Oh, well, you should, because I got some.
Why?
So you can see these nuts drag across your face.
He fucked it up, too. I got some CD's nuts.
Yeah, you actually said it like it was a company called like CD's Nuts that were like imported from Morocco or something. You're like, you guys try CD's Nuts? They're really good.
No, these are American made. No tariffs on these nuts.
So anyways, when we get downstairs, we see Big Tony for the first time. And as we establish, he does nothing but swears nonstop. And the bleeps, I think, are what's supposed to make all that funny. So the first thing we hear him saying is like, people must think I got nothing bleep better to do with my bleep time other than stand around and sign for other people's bleep packages. And then he says, oh, pardon me, turns around and sees Bonnie. And now, because Bonnie is commercial famous, he's like, oh my God, it's really you. You live here. I just signed for you. Like, yeah, I'm Big Tony. Hold on just a second. And he calls for like his wife, Antoinette, come down here. We got a movie star in the building. Like, I'm not a movie star. Like, I'll tell you, she loves you in those Randolph carpet commercials. Like, oh, thank you. And then he starts screaming up again, Antoinette, my little princess, get you bleep bleep down here. And this is, I guess, when Joe
That's when I laughed. That's when I finally broke. Also funny, too, I feel like, I mean, there's Stanley Steamer carpet cleaner commercials, but like our generation is so adverse to carpet.
I don't know why we're adverse to carpet, by the way. I don't get that. I love carpet.
I hate it. It's too much upkeep.
Because hardwood is beautiful.
Yeah, I just like hardwood. I like being
You
barefoot,
would.
and I feel like carpet is gross when you're barefoot. It feels weird.
Ew,
to me.
what the fuck are you talking about? Everything gets on your hardwood floor, all the dirt and wow.
Red dirt.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
All the dirt and
Rolling,
dust.
rolling.
And then you walk around on the hardwood floor and it sticks to your feet, whereas a carpet is warm, it's soft, it's inviting.
I'll say this: living with someone from Europe, you don't get to walk around the house in your feet.
In your feet?
In your feet.
Take those feet off right now.
I have to wear slippers.
Have you been hobbled like in Misery? Or just has no feet anymore.
Finish your book, Gordo.
I don't care if it's dead of winter. The house has to be warm enough that I can be fully barefoot. That is like my one. I'm only comfortable with no shoes, no socks.
If you ever came into my house, I actually have guest slippers.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I'm not wearing those.
Oh, yeah.
Doodle, take off the guest slippers. Joe's here.
If you're like, Jay, just can you put these guest slippers on while we're here? I'd be like, I'm going to go outside. Let me know when you're ready.
Are they like one size fits all? I have so many
Kind
questions.
of, yeah, actually. And they come in one giant slipper. And there's multiple little slippers in there.
We have a similar thing. We have like those like they're basically like really thick socks.
Yeah.
Ew, I'm not
like
giving you
fluffy,
community socks. They're like slippers.
No, they're not like really community. It's like people use the same ones when they come over.
That's
They're
a
just, like,
community
theirs that we
sock.
keep.
You're both gross.
For me, I let people decide. I'm like, if you want to come to my house with shoes on, I'm not going to be mad about it. I will be barefoot, but I'll also walk around the grass barefoot too. Like, I don't know. It's just dealer's choice.
Tony's talking and he's saying, hey, because he's super excited now at seeing Bonnie. He's like, I want you to meet all the, my kids. And he's telling them about that. And then he's saying, oh, by the way, I'm really sorry to hearing about your wedding getting called off. It's not your fault. And she's like, oh, no, that's okay. Like, I really don't want to talk about that. Now he's like, hey, can you sing the Randolph Carpet jingle for me? It would mean so much. And then right as that conversation is happening, another guy from the building, Stan, who is like Brad's roommate, who we heard about earlier, like he like walks into the hall. He's like, hey Stan, look, it's Bonnie, the Randolph Carpet girl. She's gonna sing the song. And he's like, oh, I don't think she could sing that. He's like, why not? Oh, union rules, right, Bonnie? Oh yeah. I wasn't even thinking. Big Tony's like, oh yeah, I probably couldn't even pay your rates. So, Stan's doing her the solid right here, being sly really quick and stopping her from having to do something she clearly didn't want to do.
Stan the obvious will they, won't they of this show.
Immediately. Yeah, as soon as he walks in, he comes in with like this air of like confidence to him, and he's like kind of sly.
You know what I was thinking about? And this is weird to say, but he has the strange attractiveness of a Mrs. Doubtfire era Robin Williams.
Really? I went Kevin Bacon. Tremors Kevin Bacon.
I don't think he's...
Those are two entirely different people.
I think he's got a little bit of like an older, like I'm funny and I'm talented and I'm sweet, but I'm kind of an older guy vibe that is like the sweetness of when Robin Williams isn't being, a serial killer at Mrs. Doubtfire or like letting a llama into his living room or whatever the fuck.
I kind of got a 1993 Tom Virtue feel.
Yeah.
Can't place Tom Virtue.
He was the guy who played Stan in the building.
Oh, you were doing a joke. Okay, cool.
Wow, that was almost as bad as one of mine.
Yeah, that was not good, just so you know.
I prefer his brother, Tim Patience.
It was terrible even for you.
I don't even know how to respond to that one.
Oh, he was in Shifting Gears, which we covered.
We did cover Shifting Gears. I like Shifting Gears, unlike Gordo, who I do not like.
That was good. Someone out there laughed.
Oh.
We never see Big Tony's wife, but we hear her a few times. And he's here, Tony, come up here. And he's like, I'm coming. And he goes up to Stan, he like does the fake punch thing. And then he's like, turns to Bonnie and starts fake punching her. He's like one of those like insufferable idiots, but like kind of endearing.
I'd much rather watch a show about him and his family than this shitty show.
I would like the spinoff. I like the world where there's a spinoff of that where you never see his wife, where he's always in the living room like, "Geez, Angela, I'm coming." It's like this funny out of camera screen character that just yells at him constantly. It's called The Beeps.
Yeah. Now that he exits, we have Bonnie and Stan getting to talk one-on-one for a little bit, introducing themselves to one another. And it's like, "Oh, you're Brad's roommate. An actor? Yeah, that's right. I've heard a lot about you. Have you? Well, no, just that you're an actor, but so they're having like this like a little awkward situation where again the will they won't they is pretty apparent right off the bat.
Surprisingly, it's more fun. Like she's into him. It's not even the other way around. I got the vibes.
He's into her later, though.
Sure, absolutely, but he's not trying hard, and that's the thing. So I think she's just like captivated by his niceness. And they've got like they're both actors. You know, her career didn't advance to where she would like it. I think just doing the local or not local, but the commercials. But
They're like, "We're both actors. How would you like to get married someday, then die of poverty in our old age with no retirement fund?" Just like the depressing but like truth of that, you know. It's like, we're working actors. We never paid into 401ks or anything. Like, all right, well, it'll be good when someone throws us out of this building someday.
oh, Captain Fun Guy over here.
Oh, Mushroom Man?
I'm just saying, maybe they will both. Maybe she'll get another carpet ad. Maybe he'll land a movie. You never know. I'm just saying, like, it's tough to be like two people working in a non. Imagine if all of us were like, "What's your source of income?" We're like, the S1E1 podcast. And then fast forward to when we're 70.
At this point, it's realized that Big Tony left with her package, and Stan's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. He'll bring it to you later. He's just got a weird quirk that he has to touch everything that comes into the building." And he goes, "Oh, well, I guess I'm proof of that." And they go, "Hey, he's Italian." And like, it's like this thing they do together. I'm like, okay, weird.
That's a very weird, like, 1990s way of being like, he's not creepy, he's Italian.
Oh, you
That's
mean the
literally-
Andrew Cuomo? I'm
It's
not
literally
perverted.
like 2 years ago, Andrew Cuomo, who got ousted from being the governor of one of the biggest states in the country, was like, "I'm not a creep, I'm Italian." And all of us who have Italian in us had to be like, "Bud, don't do that. You're hurting all of us right now. What are you doing?"
It's like my favorite. Oh, man.
So now Stan's going, "Hey, by the way, I'm sorry to hear about your wedding being called." Like, "Oh, you must know Holly." Yeah. Now they're talking about, "Hey, I gotta head upstairs. I gotta fix my window. The home run ball." He's like, "Oh, is so-and-so hit it?" Like, apparently it's a common occurrence in that building, which makes sense because of the proximity. And he's basically saying, "Oh, wait, I forget which player, but it was like, oh, that's weird. Usually when he hits it, it goes through my window. Usually your window is when so-and-so hits a home run. So this is a super often occurrence."
At this point in time, too, when this came out, I was like super into baseball and watching as many games as I could watch, and like I couldn't track the player they said. Did anybody get that? I know you guys.
I'd have to look at like the 93 like Cubs roster or whatever. So I didn't bother doing it.
I didn't recognize the name enough to even write it down.
Ron
Just like,
Sandberg, I think he said, usually breaks her window. But I guess if that's the case, if a specific player tends to always shoot it right at the same spot, I guess if you're home watching the game, you would at least have the wherewithal to open your window up whenever he's at bat.
That makes sense. All players have like their sweet spots. Like Manny used to always
What
hit
was
the
the
Coke
name?
bottles. They got pesky Paul for a reason.
Ron Sandberg, I believe. And then Andre Dawson.
There's a Ryan Sandberg.
that's probably who it is.
Oh, it
then.
used to be Andre Dawson, she said. So Andre Dawson was in the past when she
Yeah.
lived there the first time around, which I guess could give us a gauge for when she lived there the first time.
Previously, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When did he play, Nick? You're looking this up.
He was on the team in '93, and he died 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that
Oh, geez.
sucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
Anything-
Andre
28th.
Dawson played for the Cubs up until 92, from 87 to 92. So that does not help us know how long she was out of the building for, because it could have been the season before. Yeah, it could have
Is he still alive?
Andre Dawson is alive.
Well, then I imagine 2 weeks ago he was probably at Sandberg's funeral.
I hope so.
I hope so. I hope they were friends. Guys, getting old sucks. This is weird. It's such a bummer.
So now we flash forward and we see that Stan's like helping fix up the window and Brad's still there in his robe. And he's finishing up and he's like, "Oh, everything should be good now." And he's like, "Oh, I gotta head off." Like, "Oh, where are you going?" It's like, "Oh, I have that audition." Oh, you mean your date?
I'm a little confused. Why is Stan the one in charge of fixing her window?
I think he's just being a nice dude. They just had a nice little meet cute, so...
Yeah, I think he's trying to like win points and win favor and be like a good guy.
I just didn't know if he was like the super of the building or something, and I missed it.
But also, like, fixing a window is like, if you don't have a new window, is he just like putting cardboard or plywood up?
I'd imagine if this is a common occurrence, maybe you buy in bulk.
The basement's just
A
full
window.
of windows where it's like, I got this.
Yeah.
The guy from like Anderson Windows just like, every week I make money.
It sounds like at this point, he doesn't want her to know that he was going on a date. And likewise, she doesn't want him to know that she's about to meet up with her ex-fiance because there is some interest there on both sides. So she says that she's got like they both just credited to auditions. And then it was like, oh, is that right? Like, who's your agent? Oh, as of this morning, I'm back with Harry Tynerberg. Like, oh, Harry Tynerberg. And then he like does his little impersonation of him. Where he says that she looks like a cross between Angie Dickinson and and Joe, as you said at the beginning of the episode, young Ernest Borgnine.
I would much rather be watching a show with Ernest Borgnine.
If I was ever to leave my wife, it would be for somebody who looked like a cross between Angie Dickinson and a young Ernest Borgnine. That
He
would
does
be
go
clearly...
in the impression. He's like in spirit, not. But yeah, he is doing his impersonation there.
Ernest Borgnine, a person we've talked about on this podcast a lot, who lived to be almost 100 years old by his constant masturbation.
Because he masturbated so much.
And proudly. And you know what? Sir, I salute you.
Hey,
I'm glad you lived
if
as long
he's
as
at
you
that
did.
age and he figured out how he lasted so long, it's the right thing to do to share that information for the sake of humanity.
I agree. And both of them worked prominently with Lee Marvin. I would say that that needs to be the middle point, right? So both people had, I think they had the same. Is she still alive? She's got to be dead too, right? She'd be like in her 90s. So I just when people met,
Who is it?
93. Angie Dickinson's 93. Good for her. She's still going. She was married to Burt Bacharach.
She jerking off every day?
I hope she must be because she's 93. I apologize if you hear this, Angie Dickinson, but I imagine that you were doing that because you're still going. And she looks great.
We should cover McHale's Navy soon.
We definitely should cover McHale's Navy. Ooh, then a bonus of the movie.
Oh, with Tom Arnold?
Yeah.
Thought they made that.
Yeah, that was a movie I've seen.
Oh, we can cover basketball.
That is a great Ernest Borgnine movie.
That would make for a great show. Well, regardless, so we got a lot more of the building to cover. So he's doing his little impression, and she's like, well, he's a character, but he did get me those Randolph carpet commercials. He's like, well, not surprised with the rug he sports. Waka waka.
You talking about his pubes?
Yeah, he has his fake pubes. He wears fake pubes, Gordo.
A merkin, actually. That's what you call those.
Are toupees done now, except for like really old guys? I feel like you can see a toupee a mile away, like you're at the grocery store or whatever. You're like, whoa.
I've seen like videos when I'm like doom scrolling on Instagram of like high tech ones.
Yeah,
now that,
I have
like,
too.
They like mark off your head and they basically glue them on, and it's like indistinguishable. But
because I know like the going to Turkey is a big thing, right? But like I feel like that's a big weird thing too, because like if you do that, like your hair doesn't stop falling out, right? So if you like keep going, it's like a crazy thing.
you're supposed to be at a point where it's just about done, but who's to say when that is, I guess.
Yeah, every time I think I'm about done, there goes some more hair.
I'll get on the plane with you. I told you, I'll take the trip. Boys trip.
The turkey?
Yeah, I'll give him all my back hair, whatever he needs.
Ew.
Berg, I got a pube farm for you. You need it.
Nope.
Berg has an afro all of a sudden. It's very weird. I mean, at that point, you say no, right? Like, do you want hair? It's like, sure. Like, do you want to pube hair? Be like, no, I don't want that.
Why does Ferg's hair smell like dog breath?
It's fucking disgusting.
It's like The Simpsons where Snake's hair is alive. Ferg gets Gordo's pube hair and just keeps bringing him to his apartment to Doodle's dog park.
To exit out of this as quick as possible, Dan's like getting ready to leave, and she's like, "Oh, you want a sandwich or something before you leave?" No, I'm good. And as he's walking out, he looks, he's like, "You look great in an apron, by the way." Like, "Oh, thanks." Like, I didn't think women really wore them while I was cleaning, and it just seemed like such a weird note to leave on. Like, "Oh, I love the apron." I didn't think women actually were. Like, I thought that was fake from TV.
It's very like 50s. He's old fashioned, which has been established.
Yeah, it's just a weird,
Yeah.
like, they're just this 1 foot into an old, yeah. I just feel like this whole show just should have been a timepiece.
Right, this should have been like the 50s Cubs and surrounding, and she was on like a variety show or something.
That's so much more work to do a timepiece.
Yeah, the show did not work with a heavy budget. They hardly left the one room that had nothing in it the whole time.
I will say this though, Nick, I know you're a super foodie, and my wife cooks a lot and bakes a lot. She was a baker in a previous life. Apron is always on for like baking. I think that's the thing, is like most people don't put an apron on for cooking, but if you're baking, because flour and everything is all
No.
over the place.
No, wrong.
I use it to grill.
Wrong.
Oh, I have a grill one too, yeah.
Alice in Wonderland wears hers 24/7.
It's true.
So does Alice in Brady Bunch.
The saying in the kitchen is dirty apron, clean jacket.
I thought the saying was, Gordo, get out of here.
We fired you yesterday. Why are you showing up again?
Because it's time to make the donuts, okay?
I need the donuts.
Cousin! Now we flash forward a little bit, and Holly's with Barney as she's getting ready to meet up with her ex-fiance later. Barney's saying how she feels like she's going on a blind date. It's like, I was going to marry this man, and, you know, like, now here I am, like, why do I feel like this right now? It's kind of ridiculous. There's, like, really nothing to discuss. He wanted out, and I gave it to him, so what right do I have to see him now? Like, what's the point? And that's when Brad walks in, and I didn't get the outfit. So he says he's doing a freelance piece on J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah, he's an actor.
Because he's cross-dressing. And that was the joke, that J. Edgar Hoover was a cross-dresser.
J. Edgar Hoover was a famous cross-dresser. And
I did not know that.
He had dirt on basically every person who was high up in any part of American society. So they would never be able to tell on him. But then when he died in the 70s, everyone was just like, oh yeah, he was a crazy person, and also he was a cross-dresser, and it all came out at that point.
Oh,
So Joe's saying cross-dressers are crazy people.
yes.
Not what I said, lol. I'm just saying people knew about it for like 30 years, because he was basically in charge of the government for, I mean, J. Edgar Hoover is like a
CIA,
weird
right? Or FBI?
FBI. But he started the FBI, like this was like in the age of like the gangsters, right? Like the Babyface Nelsons and the Bonnie and Clydes. And he was basically in charge of the country and everything policing through the late 60s.
Was that before or after he got into vacuums?
The president?
Hoovers.
When he first walked in, I thought he was dressed as Nancy Reagan, and I was like trying to put that joke together, because that's like the style of like top I kind of associated with her. Like, where's he going with this?
She said just say no, but she used to say just say yes.
And then again, he walks in, he's like, can I get something to eat? And she's like, yeah, chicken salad, all right? Yeah, that sounds all right. I'm like, this dynamic is so fucking strange, because like, that's just not how you treat a friend, like in general, and they don't seem to have any like relationship history.
This scene broke my heart a little bit too, because in the last scene where it was like, do you want a sandwich? I was like, wow, she just moved in and she went and bought ham and cheese. It had cold cuts in the fridge. Like, what a hero. And then at this scene, I was like, oh, she bought chicken salad. That's the sandwich. That's not the same.
Chicken salad is good.
It's not a sandwich.
Why the hell are you shitting on chicken salad?
I mean, it's definitely a sandwich.
If someone says, do you want a sandwich? My brain immediately goes to cold cuts. Like, you get turkey, you get pepperoni, you get ham, we have cheese. The
I
cheese
agree,
is
Joe,
American.
but it's still a sandwich, I think.
No, I'm not saying it's not a sandwich. I'm just saying when someone says, do you want a sandwich? My immediate assumption is there are cold cuts to be had.
When else would you eat chicken salad if not in a sandwich? You're not just going to spoon it out of a dish.
True.
I mean, I've never liked chicken salad personally, so that could be my own, prejudice here.
I
But
also agree, yeah.
You know what bothers me is like when there'll be like work functions and they'll order like those small sandwiches, like the sandwich platters, and there's like the one of tuna. And I like tuna, but like that's not something that should be like on mass display for everyone to just be chilling at an event eating tuna sandwiches.
Yeah, it's
together.
not something that should be left sitting out and that's
Baking
all
in
that
the
they
light,
ever
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I just hate that because they always hide celery in it.
What's wrong with celery? Oh
I
my
hate
God.
celery.
When I was a kid, I grew up, I don't know if this was a thing for you guys, but like when I was a kid and my mom made like tuna sandwiches, she would put celery seed in with the mayonnaise and the tuna.
Celery
which I still
seed,
do.
celery salt, and celery in tuna.
I've never done celery salt.
I don't do the celery salt. I think it's naturally sodium heavy as it is. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
need to
never
add,
put salt in
like,
mine.
But the celery seed for sure.
I always just put lemon. I put lemon, dill, mayo.
Thank you, Ferg. I was like, who's gonna laugh before me? Who's gonna laugh before me when he's so still?
Will you guys grow up? It's
Well, that's funny. I missed it.
He goes, I put lemon. Gill.
I mean, I will say though, I am allergic to tuna, so I haven't had it in 30 years or whatever. But I would like. I feel like I miss it because I loved it as a kid. Like I feel sad about that sort of stuff.
I love a good tuna sandwich.
I liked it as a kid a lot.
I'll say this: if you really enjoyed tuna that much as a kid, make chicken salad. Like it's.
I don't love chicken salad though. I mean,
It's not that far off.
no, I liked tuna as a whole. Like I liked tuna as like a steak.
like a tuna steak.
Yeah,
Well, that's different than canned tuna.
I never
Like,
had
it's
tuna
almost
salad. Yeah,
I was gonna say it's almost amazing that like a can of tuna, like, and as me who's eaten more sushi than anyone my age should, like, I've already ate 8 lifetimes worth of sushi, but to look at like fresh tuna versus what comes out of the can and know that that's the same thing is amazing.
I've had cats my whole life. You always give them tuna on like special occasions, right? You're like, it's Christmas, you get tuna, and they get all
And
happy.
you're like,
you
oh,
smell
lucky.
it. You smell it in your hands, and you're like, whoa, it's gross.
every other night. We've been not doing it every night, but to get the cat used to the medication, we were doing that and giving it to the dog as well. They go nuts.
Do you guys prefer the tuna can with oil or water?
Water, and it has to be solid, not chunk.
I don't think it matters because I'm squeezing all that liquid out.
Yeah.
Chunk to me is disgusting. Chunk tuna is like, that looks like cat food.
Well, you know what though? But the way that I do it though, I mean, riveting stuff for the audience is that I just wring out all of the tuna juice regardless, so it's all going to look like chunks.
Well, yeah, I think everybody does that. Yeah,
I mean, I go to like I make it dry.
So Bonnie's talking about this vivid memory she had where she's in the hospital on a stretcher. She's being wheeled out of the delivery room. She's just given birth to their first baby, a daughter named Melissa. And Jim's running late. So he comes down the hall and he looks up and sees her. She's already got her figure back. And he looks at her and looks at the baby. And with a tear in his eye says how lucky of a guy he is.
That's weird.
That's when Holly's like, I had a dream too. About Jim? No, about Frankie. Oh, I remember Frankie. What happened in your dream? We had sex.
Waka waka.
She's like, that's it? Yeah, that's the dream. So that was like an interesting scene.
I feel like that would probably play better though, again, in the improv world than the sitcom world, right? Like I feel like it's just it's funny, but it's.
I thought it was funny, like the back and forth where Bonnie's having this beautiful dream of a life with Jim where they just had a baby and how perfect things are. And Holly's like, I also had a dream about my ex. And it was just like, we had sex. That was the whole dream. That was it.
I'd rather the sex dream.
Yeah.
Have you guys had, I don't want to make this a weird conversation, but like.
Oh, let's get weird.
Where's this going?
I hear about stuff like that all the time, but I feel like it's happened to me sparingly, but like I've never had like
Nocturnal emission?
not that, just the dream itself. But just, you guys have sex dreams?
I mean, yeah, they happen, but like I also don't think that we're at the age where they're supposed to happen. Like that's a very like
not at
hormonal-
40.
But even when I was younger, I never had like crazy sex dreams when I was like
Only
20.
a handful of times.
Although that being said, in my 20s, I probably averaged about a dream every other year because of my sleep patterns. So
I was gonna say you're probably just not dreaming, period. But also like you're probably talking these dreams are like more prominent when you're like between like 14 and 18.
Yeah, I feel like as a kid I had a lot of them. Now my dreams are just things that make me wake up with anxiety clutching my chest at 4 a.m. It's everything as fun as like you had sex in your dream.
No, I have a reoccurring dream where like I'm going to school, but I haven't been for months because I've been skipping, and I have to go to class, and I don't know anything. And it's like it's always our middle school, but it's supposed to be high school.
in the dream, is everyone a kid but you? Oh no.
Like, Ferg, what happened last night?
Fergie Madison.
Wearing an REO Speedwagon t-shirt.
I had reoccurring dreams in elementary school. They were terrifying, but I can't think of ever having recurring dreams since.
I had a recurring, like, parachute didn't open dream when I was a kid all the time.
When I was a kid, like real young, I used to have bunk beds with my brother, and I was on the top bunk. And like I used to have like a recurring dream where like the bunk beds would slide like out of the room and down the steps. and like just like a quick like that. So like that would happen, like that quick like falling thing, and that's the only thing I can remember as like something that like stands out to this day in my brain.
I had a dream the other day that Joe was in it, and he was riding a parakeet that was rainbow colored, and he had a cowboy hat on, and he was called the Rainbow Parakeet.
That's so weird. I had a dream the other day that you were a parakeet.
Weird.
Next week, it's gonna be like, Gordon and I are getting married and we're hanging up pictures of our proms.
Yes.
Right around here, Big Tony walks in. He's like, hello, anyone home? And
nobody was.
People were. And he has that package that he had signed for earlier that he took home with him.
I love this. I love that she gives him a beer and he takes it with him.
Well, when first he hands her the package, she's like, oh, thanks for bringing this fragile package over, because he was handling it a little rough. And that's when he's like, hey, you know what my father used to say? What's that? You can't blow the foam off, thanks. And that's when she goes, oh, do you want a beer? So he was insinuating like a good deed should come with a beer.
What an asshole.
I thought it was a funny line.
I also agree.
Where's our beers, Joe? Where's our beers, Joe?
Yeah, Joe.
Would you like one? Do you want me to mail you a Miller Lite? Because I will. I just don't know how well that's going to work.
I'm having a polar seltzer at the moment. At this point, we hear again from Internet, Tony, get up here. So I'm under the impression we would never, if we were to watch the entire 5-episode series, we probably don't
meet
her.
Antoinette. Probably not. Yeah.
Shucks.
She's yelling for him again, and then you hear yeah, I'm coming, bleep, bleep, bleep. And, because he swears a lot, he exits. Now that he's gone, Bonnie's like looking for forks for the food that Brad demanded. And he's like, I can't find any of my forks, because remember, she's still moving in. Although it's weird because she's moving in with her cousin. And it feels like this apartment was completely unfurnished and empty until she moved into it, because there's nothing anywhere until she's emptying out her boxes.
I like to think he's at the bar all day and he just eats and drinks there.
And he lives in a completely empty apartment, though?
I also understand, in my brain, it's like downstairs, right? So he's just like, I'm hungry, I'm going downstairs. He isn't like, that's like the character quirk.
She's looking for her forks. And Brad's like, oh, I got forks in my place. It's like, oh, great. And like Bonnie goes to leave to run into his place to grab the forks. And again, Holly's like, Bonnie, what are you doing? I'm getting the forks. Like, Bonnie. I'm glad like Holly is still there to like stick up for her once in a while. She literally grabs Brad and drags him out, like, go get your own fork. And like, by doing so, pulls him out of the apartment, door shuts. Now they're all locked out. And it's like, shit, like, oh, we don't have to worry, though, because Finley's got an extra set of keys. It's like, oh, great. But he's at the bar. So they tell Brad, like, oh, we'll go get him then. I can't. Why not? He goes, a woman alone? Referencing to his, the outfit he's wearing because of his J. Edgar Hoover piece.
Which we'll get a third reference soon, too.
So Holly's like, I'll go. And Brian's like, okay, I'll go with you. Brad, you stay here just in case Jim comes. And if he does, tell him to just meet me at the bar. And I'll get ready in the car.
This doesn't make any sense. Have him meet me at the bar, because the whole reason she's upset and needs the key to get back in is because she's not ready. She's her makeup's not done, her hair's not done, she's not dressed.
And now she's willing to get ready in the car, yeah. But she kind of realizes that because while they're getting ready, she's telling her to hurry up. And then Bonnie has that realization, I gotta put my makeup on. And she goes, wait a minute, I don't have my makeup. Like, I'm in the car. So now she's like getting panicky. And she takes off like the thing for exposing her hair. And she's like, look, I'm trying too hard. Look at me. I'm Ginger from Gilligan's Island. And again, I hate to keep bringing it to this because, for the sake of like, I don't want to knock the show, but was her hair like significantly, maybe it was a quality thing. Again, I hate keep bringing up the quality thing.
It's hard to tell
not the
here,
fault
yeah.
of the show. But I didn't see anything crazy with her hair that like made her look like Ginger.
It was just down and kind of curled.
Yeah, it was done up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now they're at the bar and Bonnie's telling Holly, all right, just run in and grab the keys and then we'll head back. She goes, actually, no, not with that shirt. You'll never get out of here. So Bonnie goes in instead, again, referencing to like the beginning of the episode where she's wearing like a tight sweater, but like she definitely got the girls perked up a bit.
But it's not like a sex pot outfit. It's like just wearing clothes out to a bar.
Yeah, but like they still position her to be like the sex pot. But yeah, she's not dressed like in any way that's over to, especially for 93. Like 93, I'm thinking like MTV Beach House, where like
Wubba,
just have,
wubba,
like-
wubba. Yeah,
Yeah, it
the
was like
grind.
girls wearing string bikinis, like with gigantic
I
fake
think
tits.
it's just she has giant boobs. I think that's what they're trying to go with. It's not like she's dressed showing them.
But Ginger on Gilligan's Island just always wore like a ball gown type of dress, right? Like she was always wearing like a, I don't know how she had so many dresses on the island.
Yeah, but she was super hoary. Like she was always like, "Hi, Gilligan."
What's that?
Show me your Willie Gilligan.
Oh, she wanted to bang Gilligan.
Well, Holly here, I mean,
Nobody
like,
wants to bang Gilligan.
Speak for
Holly's in a
yourself.
situation where, I mean, she's talking about like the first time we ever see her, she's like admiring her own chest and she's having sex dreams and stuff. So I do think they want her character to somewhat portray that, but they aren't overdoing it. But yeah, in any event, Bonnie walks in.
It's also network television. You can't exactly have her walking around with her tits and like a
Yeah.
tank top hanging out.
Yeah, I guess you can't have like super cleavage and like boobs out. This is 1993 CBS or whatever.
So as Bonnie's walking through this bar, she's like trying to get through everybody. And then this one guy stops and goes, "Whoa, aren't you the Randolph Carpet Girl?" "Oh, no, that's not me." Like, yeah. And then he starts singing the jingle and she sings along. So yeah, that's me. Now that's Tom Hunt, which I believe is her brother, if my memory serves me correctly. I could be wrong, but there is a significance to him. He is Tom Hunt. And I want to say it was her brother. It's not a spouse.
I think it was a big mistake setting this in Chicago. I think it should have been a small town that people would all get excited that like a commercial celebrity would be there.
Sure, but
I don't
that's
think Chicago is.
Hold on. If we live in a major metropolitan city or close to one, if like Dean from Dean's Home Furniture walked into the bar that we were at, you'd be like,
well, again, that's a local commercial.
Yeah, that's
still. And,
local, it's not
we
national,
think she's
yeah.
part of a national ad. And I think the thing though is
Limu Emu.
And Doug?
If the emu walked into the bar, I would buy it a drink. I'm not gonna lie. We'd start pouring the liquor down that emu. Also, I went to a fucking zoo last year and saw an emu in real life, and you would not actually give a drink to that thing. They are dinosaurs. They have
Yes.
the scariest feet you've ever seen in your entire life. Everybody who's involved in those commercials is in peril for their life. That fucking animal could freak out. They're terrifying. One almost killed Johnny Cash. One took their foot and split Johnny Cash from stem to stern. They're scary.
That was an ostrich, actually.
That was an ostrich?
Yes. Similar.
Same lineage.
anyways, I think it's important to note part of the theory, well, not theory, but part of the reasoning that a show like this is set in Chicago is Bonnie Hunt famously is a Chicago
From Chicago.
native.
I mean, she actually has not missed a opening game at Wrigley Field in like 40
Yeah,
years.
she's like a big Chicago like ambassador for her city. Yeah.
But even if it was a small town, it would also explain everyone knowing each other. It's not the
Sure.
kind of thing you get in the big city where everyone recognizes her and knows her.
No, I agree with you, Ferg. I think that works as well, yeah.
So yeah, I think like to what Joe said before when we were trying to debate the level of commercial, I think it's the same as if like Flo from Progressive was, you know, in the area. And because she's a native, they might know more because they know that she's from around here, you know. The fact that everybody seems to know about her engagement being called off is a bit much, but yeah, that, you know, to be said. So she finally makes it to the bar, and that's when we see Finley, who apparently is her cousin, and that's Mike Haggerty, and saying, "Hey, welcome back." And again, sorry about the wedding being called off. So like, apparently she's been moving in without him even being there. So it must, I don't know, maybe today is the first day she's even started to move in.
Would have been better if it was Fit Finley. He hit it with a shillelagh.
One could hope. And she's explaining how she lost her keys and she's gonna need the spare so she can get in.
I feel like in a building like that, at least one of the neighbors would have a key for emergencies.
I'm surprised Holly doesn't, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Holly should, or maybe Don Lake would have one, yeah. Or Fit Finley.
he's saying, "Oh, so the bum found someone else?" And like, not really. Named Bill? What? He goes, "Don't worry about it. Holly told me he's gay." He's like, "Listen, don't take it to heart, okay? Everyone's gay nowadays. I'd be gay too if I didn't find women so attractive."
It's something like Haggerty, like this line works. I don't know, he's so fucking funny when he says this sort of thing. That
And he's
you're
such a typical dude-looking guy. You know what I mean?
right. Like he looks like the plumber you called who never came back. So like him saying that, you're like, I don't know why this is so funny and not offensive, but he's
And Holly's trying to do damage control, I guess we're finding out. So now she's just running around telling everyone that Jim's gay, and that's why they broke up.
again, something from back then that does not fly now. You know what I mean? If you're like, why'd you break up? If they're like, he was gay, they'd be like, oh, well, as long as everyone's happy. You know what I mean? Like in that world, though, in 1983, it's like, that's a huge fucking deal.
And then right around this point is when Jim actually heads into the bar. And that's when we find out Jim, played by George Clooney.
Nice to see him, right? Everyone's happy.
The first time we've seen him since Roseanne, or was there something else he was in?
No, I think we saw him after in the baby show.
You're right.
I will say, though, I did a little digging at this point because I was like, okay, where was he? This is a year before ER, right? So I'm like, okay, so where's George Clooney? This is before he's like become huge. What is he doing in the interim? In 1993, he does this pilot, and he does a movie about the first World Trade Center bombing with Fran Drescher, which immediately became my most top need to watch movie of all time, which is Fran Drescher being like, oh my God, there's a bomb in the car garage. Like, I need to see that so fucking badly that I haven't like screen kept.
So now Bonnie and Jim are finally going to talk in the middle of this bar. This is, like we mentioned earlier in the episode, the whole tone of the whole show completely changes from like, we're kind of wacky and silly and a throwback to the 50s and sometimes even earlier to like, now we're throwback to like Casablanca. And they're having the scene where they're like talking to each other and she's like, hey, should we maybe head out of here and go somewhere a little more quiet to talk? Like, oh, I don't really have a lot of time. I have a cab waiting for me out front. I just been trying to get a hold of you. I'm in town tonight for a medical conference and I wanted to tell you in person. She says, tell me what? I'm getting married. Like, I'm sorry, what? Kathy's pregnant.
And this we brought up earlier is a drama, like, stage scene. This is not, there's no humor. This is like a straight acting scene.
Even like, she cracks
There's no place.
a joke.
There's no place for this scene in this show. This is it doesn't make any sense as according to the rest of the show.
There should be one joke. There should be at least one joke.
Fucking stupid show capped off with the dumbest shit I've ever seen, trying to explain something that could have been easily explained in the first scene. And they just didn't. They wanted to hold out for this scene, this dramatic scene with George Clooney that needed to happen for some reason. I hate this show, and I hate it because of this scene.
Yeah, Nick, let it out. I love it.
I love that. That's some quirky anger.
It was very odd because it was just this whole build up. We never really found out why they split up. There wasn't a lot of talk about it, and she's clearly still in love with him. And he flies all the way out, and then he's like, I had to see you. And he tells her this and drops it on her. He gives her I just want you to know that I love you and I have a great respect for you and I hope we can always be friends. It's just so like, he almost is telling her as if he didn't mean to get her pregnant and now he has to be with her. Like,
which is what makes it so much more dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming off like he wants to be with her, but it's like, what is with this extreme serious scene? It's just very out of place for this whole show that's like starts with dance break.
And it's not like you can do both, right? Like there are plenty of sitcoms out there who can do both. The first one that comes to mind, also George Clooney, is Roseanne. Roseanne was great at being able to be serious when it needed to be serious, be funny when it needed to be funny. This show isn't capable of fucking anything, never mind doing that. But the fact that they even tried it is so insane to me. It blew my mind, this scene. It really, really did.
What breaks me in this scene too, though, is not even that, Nick. It's that she capitulates at the end and she's like, hey, come back. You'll be a great dad.
That's what I don't understand.
That's what fucking breaks me, where it's like, no, that's not how this character should act. That is the wrong thing.
Have Mike Haggerty break his legs backstage.
Is it confirmed that he cheated? Are we speculating he cheated?
We're
or
speculating.
Is it confirmed?
They never tell us specifically why they broke up. And
that's
no
what
one
I thought.
Even hints to it.
This is why I don't think he did. Because you don't get to have the guy who already cheated on you. Why are you harping on him to begin with? Let's not get into that right now. And then he comes back and tells you that the girl he cheated on you with is now pregnant. But I still love you, and I
don't think it's a cheat.
It can't be that dumb.
She mentions once earlier that like he just wanted to end it, and that's all she said about it. So let's say maybe they just got engaged. He got cold feet because it was happening fast. Who knows? Wasn't ready for marriage. But now flash forward, he gets his girl pregnant, so he's going to get married.
Fuck.
But yeah, so I mean, it's a super serious scene. She says how he's going to be a great father. He kisses her on the forehead. He tells him it's best that he gets in the cab and leaves. The whole tone just completely, it's out of place. This scene is like extract this from the episode and you tell me this is like a scene from like just like a more dramatic television show. You'd be like, oh, that's a nice television scene. But it doesn't fit here, not in this type of show.
Yeah, it's also like very well acted, especially on the part of George Clooney, right? So it doesn't it's the wrong puzzle piece for, you know what I mean? It just
They
doesn't make any
flew
sense.
way too close to the sun by getting George Clooney.
No, because at this point he's a good actor, but
Yeah, it's nothing on George Clooney.
He's still George Clooney. He still has always been
he's
a
still
good actor.
handsome. I mean, it makes more sense for him to be in this role than the guy who manages a company who makes plastic spoons. Like, that doesn't make sense in Roseanne to me, but...
Yeah, but he was still a handsome, charming guy then.
Sure, but, like, it didn't make sense to me in that scenario. But I will say they fucked this episode up by being like, it either had to end on this emotional piece and be like, this is the kind of show we're doing. It didn't need, like, and they realized they couldn't do that. So now we fall into, like, this is Mo.
They wanted to close the door on Jim, right? He's not in any other episodes. They wanted to like give
he's
you
a
a
guest
reason for
star.
them to stay broken up. Yeah. So to almost like do the will they won't they would stand to like to brighten that up and to like give the clear path. But you didn't need to tell all this story. You know what I mean? Like whatever brought her there, it didn't have to be this whole angle of a relationship that didn't work out in this wedding. But we have this super serious scene. Cut to later. Now she's back home and you can tell. So she's listening to the radio and she's listening to a radio show for Maureen, the love mechanic, and she's taking live calls. Clearly Bonnie Hunt is Maureen, the love mechanic. So she's doing her little funny like character while she's listening to the radio, you know, so she's listening to her own, you can tell it's her own voice. And it's like, go ahead. You got Maureen, the love mechanic. This is Mo. And then the person's like, hello, Mo. Yep. This is Mo. And like they're doing this joke. It's like, so I got this girlfriend and she wants me to call her and let her know if I'm going to be late all the time. Yeah, you should dump her. Okay, you're on the phone with Mo. And it's like just a lot of this stuff. It's all right. It's like this is more meant for sketch comedy. Like
This
Maureen,
is
the
sketch
love-
comedy all day. Yeah.
the love mechanic is probably some sketch she probably did in like Second City.
Off stage with a mic in Second City, yeah.
The only acceptable Mo would have been Moira Quark, all right?
Love Mechanic is funny, though, yeah.
This is like funny for what it is, but it doesn't like it doesn't work in this surrounding. And it's almost like they
again.
just like shoehorned it in too. It's like, oh, I want to do one of my characters. You know what I mean? Like, how do we get that in this episode too?
They should have made the show Maureen, the love mechanic.
I would watch that spinoff.
I would watch that show, yeah.
I think it would have made a little more sense if it was ongoing throughout the episode. Like she always had the radio on and you just hear this throughout. And then it wouldn't have just been suddenly after this dramatic scene, you're
Yeah,
getting this character for the
If
first
she does
time.
like a lot of characters and you want to like piece them in with that, like she's always listening to the radio and it's her doing some other character or whatever, like that could work. But she's listening as she's like unpacking and she opens like the wedding gift that she got from the carpet company she did the commercials for, and it's like these two like wine glasses or champagne glasses. Why did everyone go into hysterics when she took them out? Like,
Because they have carpet, like, Berber coasters attached to them.
oh, that's what was attached to them. I thought it was just like the cardboard you might tape to them so they don't
No,
break.
it's carpet.
Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly what it was.
Also, what's the move here? Do you send the gifts back?
No.
You didn't get married.
They're glasses with carpet glued to them. You keep them. It's fine.
And I'm getting married. Send me stuff.
Broccoli.
Oh, no.
Ferg's announcing his engagement. Please send all broccoli to...
She opens up those glasses and goes to put them away. As that happens, we get a knock at the door. It's Stan. So he walks in. It's like, oh, I hope it's not too late. She's like, no, not at all. But Brad's not here. He's like, oh, I wasn't looking for Brad. I was walking home and I thought I'd pick you up a little welcome to the building kind of thing. And he says, I didn't have enough for any good bottle of wine, so I got you this giant beer.
I think this is very sweet, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he goes, this is a wonderful moment.
This is very sweet, and they share it. I think that's the most important thing, too, right? It's like, I brought you things to share, because this entire episode, she's giving stuff to other people. This is the one time where this is like, I brought you something, and we're going to share it. You can have some of it.
Ironically, yes, this is the only time anyone's ever thought of her and
Right.
did something for her.
yeah.
Even if it's like, we're going to split this King Cobra.
brass monkey. He pulls out an orange juice and a fucking thing of tape. He's like, we're doing Edward 40 hands tonight. Like, I don't want to do that at all.
I've done Edward 40 hands many a times.
The worst. You can't get into doors.
Luckily, I drink fast, so that's the saving grace. Is I can drink those before I have to pee, but that's only because I can drink absurdly quickly. Haven't done that in a long time either, because King Cobra tasted a lot better at 21 than I believe it will at 39.
That's why you add the orange juice.
Also, any beer that's in a 40-ounce bottle is just like, we're doing even if it's like beer you like.
For $2.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Jay, it's not a problem for you. I think for the rest of us, though, or anybody else who drinks beer, we're like, that's going to get so warm by the middle. 40 ounces is what?
40 ounces.
What is that like? What does a King Cobra cost now? If it hit like $5, I'll be so
I
upset.
was gonna say, I bet it's still under $5 for a 40.
I will say, proud of everyone here for being like, who knows? Nobody immediately was like, $7.99, no deposit.
It's $4.99 on DoorDash, so
Oh, there you go.
you know it's cheaper in the store.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually just looked up the animal King Cobra. So
How much to buy one of those?
Actually, on you can get it for $3.45 on Uber Eats to you.
And that's with an Uber Eats like upcharge.
Yeah, that means it's like $2 in the store.
How depressed are you as the Uber Eats driver being like, I have your 240s of King Cobra?
Less depressed than the person receiving it.
Well, no, because you know you're not getting a tip.
God, it's so much easier to illegally drink now than it was when we were little.
Yeah,
You know that guy that's delivering it don't care. They're not. Let me see your ID.
When I used to get like what was the Massachusetts booze delivery during COVID?
Grizzly?
Drizzly, which shut down, by the way.
Uber Eats bought it, I believe.
Uber Eats bought it, yeah. But like during COVID, nobody ever ID'd me. Just like some sad guy showed up and looked at me as another sad guy and was like, here's your 3 18s of high life. And I'd be like, see you tomorrow. Like, it was just a weird moment in time.
It's $2.21 at Burlington Spirit Shop.
$2.21 in 2025. That's fucking, and they're making money on that. That's crazy.
Yeah, the economy didn't affect that. They sit down, they share the beer, and first there's a joke. It's like, oh, open it up, let it breathe a little bit. And they're sitting there and they're talking for a little bit, and they're going over, they're like, oh, how was your audition? Like, oh, not so good. How about yours? Yeah, not really. I wasn't what they had in mind. So they both went on dates, and one went on a date, one just went and talked to her ex, not knowing the situation. Neither of them went in the direction that would refrain the two from being able to start talking, at least. Bonnie actually said that hers was the role of a lifetime, but I got down there and found out some other girl got the part, which is depressing.
I do think, though, this is good writing. This is like a weird scene of good writing with this conversation where it's like they both know what they're talking about, even though they're speaking in metaphors. Yeah.
They both know, yeah, and he's telling her, like, don't take it too hard. One day the right movie's going to come along. And it ends with them cheersing one another and the ding of the glass. And then from Big Tony's apartment, we hear the ding in return because he has to give those receipt noises.
I mean, it does end on a freeze frame, which I feel like was needed, but not necessary.
I thought the ding was like a nice callback to the fact that he did the knocking thing earlier. Like, it did round off for like a little end on a joke. But yeah, that was the end of the episode. And
One thing I wanted to bring up, I know, Gordo, you currently do. I have previously, but I don't know about the other guys. Have you ever lived in an apartment building before? Because that's like it's a weird ecosystem, right? Like you're like in a building with shared walls and shared people.
yeah, no, the closest I ever was like a triple decker. I never lived like had a hallway with a number on a door
Yeah.
that I walked.
I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like, I mean, I get along with my neighbors. My apartment building, the people above me, they have concrete slippers that they walk around in, but
If that's any apartment, that's a 3-decker too. Anybody who lives above you sounds like a fucking asshole and they're stomping around.
When I was a kid, I always wanted to live in an apartment building because it felt like living in a hotel. Like, that's like how my kid brain perceived it. Like, this is
okay,
so
I can
cool.
see that.
Especially the ones that like, oh yeah, my building has a pool and we have like a little workout area. It's like, I was like, that's so cool. Like, you have all this shit.
I have a courtyard with rats.
Well, everyone's got different amenities.
When I first moved to the city, my first apartment was an apartment building, and I think because it was all people around our age and everyone smoked, it was like everyone met up front to smoke, whatever. It's like it was really easy. But I can't imagine being in a building in a show like this where there's like, well, Susie upstairs has been up there for 40 years. Like, that's such a weird dynamic to have to like deal with or whatever, you know? And a situation like this too in this show, like we mentioned earlier, I assume it's rent controlled, right? So there's probably some people who've been there for fucking their whole lives and are not moving because any apartment outside of this is going to cost so much more money. And we've never had that. That was never like a Massachusetts thing.
No.
Like there's no rent control. Like your landlord could just fucking kick you out.
Jack up your rates and kick you out.
Yeah, like that's, well, someone will pay more, so bye. You're like, I guess that's fair, sure.
Anyways, with all this in mind, we've talked about this episode at quite a length, longer than anyone's talked about this, probably including Bonnie Hunt, since this show has premiered. So I want to get into the green light or cancel to not go too much longer. I will go, Joe, since you picked the show, start with you.
It's a cancel, even though I love everybody in it. I think the issue here is the show I kept thinking of was the Tracy Ullman show, which was around, I mean, not around the same time, it was a little bit before, but Fox saw somebody like Tracy Ullman who was like, this is a funny person who we can build all these funny people around, and we'll do it as sketch comedy. And out of that, we got The Simpsons, right? Like, so that was a gamble that was worth taking. This feels like they didn't realize where the money was. There's characters, there's sketchy feeling things, but they kept it way too much to one premise, and it just tanked because it's just not funny. I think if they had done a sketch comedy version of this, we'd probably be talking about it in a different light, but they didn't, so it is a cancel for me.
Ferg.
This is also a very easy cancel for me. I'm pretty surprised Joe canceled. I was ready to get very angry at him. We've talked about clock watching a lot. This is the worst show I've ever clock watched, where I felt like I watched like 45 minutes and then I looked down and there was still 15 minutes left. It was so painful. The dialogue was bad, and improv doesn't work in a sitcom, and the whole thing felt like a bad improv sketch. Tonally, it was a mess. They didn't know what they wanted to be, with the goofy comedy at the beginning and then the serious part at the end. I think everyone on the show is pretty talented, and it should have worked, but it didn't. It's just one of those things. Also, the quality copy we had didn't help, but I can't hold that against it. Yeah, easy cancel for me.
I'll jump in the middle. It's also going to be a cancel for me. The show was a big clock watcher for me, especially that first scene, because it ran so long before we moved out of it. I just thought the show really struggled to know what it was, and the tone just kept changing. And the mix between comedic improv with heavy scripted drama, it just didn't blend together. It was just all over the place. I think you had a lot of the right pieces, and it reformatted. You could have maybe made something with all the people involved. I thought that, like Bonnie and Stan had good chemistry, and Holly was a good friend, like, buddy character to work off of her. I thought they had good chemistry. Yeah, it just didn't work. So, yeah, cancel. Nick?
This show is a treacherous, poorly written, poorly directed, okay acted piece of garbage. It's a disgusting, wet fart, and I hate it. I hate this show. I think it's in my top 3 least favorite shows we have ever covered. I'd have to go back and maybe give you those other 2, but I'll knock something out for this one if it's close. And I know we can be hyperbolic sometimes when we're watching a show and say, oh yeah, this is one of the worst shows. No, this is hands down one of the worst sitcoms I've ever seen. It was awful, awful, awful. I wish I could do worse than cancel it. Cancel, cancel, cancel.
Gordo.
This show sucked. I think this is the worst show. This might actually be the worst show that we've watched. Every time I think that we've reached the peak of bad shows, a building will appear and we will climb it, and it just takes over. It's just bad. There was nothing good about this show. I'm just angry that this existed and that I had to watch it. It was bad. It was just don't even bother watching it on YouTube. Just listen to our podcast. You probably have a more enjoyable experience listening to us talk about it than you actually watching it. With that being said, cancel.
Homeboy Smarter Space.
No, that one at least was interesting.
I liked hating that.
I'd go rewatch that.
That's another show that go back and listen to that. Go back and listen to Homeboys from Outer Space. That's a show that I like this. Wish I could watch in a clearer version. I think if Homeboys from Outer Space existed in like on a streamer clear, I would probably watch all of it just because it was so ridiculous. But with that in mind, that's still a 0 out of 5 for The Building. So we are sorry, but you are absolutely getting canceled from us. I'm going to thank all you guys for listening. Go to S1E1pod.com. That's where you can find all the links. Again, if you guys can go there, rate, review, do all that stuff, that helps us out a lot. And then also shoot us messages. Let us know shows you want us to cover. If you want to buy a t-shirt or something like that, also very much appreciated. But yeah, with all that in mind, thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you again next week with another new episode. But until then, thank you. Goodbye.
I think we got the best sequel to Perfect Strangers.
How dare you?
Berg's gonna be so fucking mad when I say that.
You son of a bitch. You apologize to Balky and Larry.